My name is Marlon Bayard. I recently just came home from doing a 4-year sentence. Started getting in trouble around the age of about 18 after I graduated from high school. A tragic event happened in my life where I lost my grandma and my mom, in about a 2-month span back to back. And that's the time I began to rebel and, towards the world, and towards God. I was brought up in the church, so I always believed in God. But once that happened, I just kind of turned my back on him, and said, I'm just going to live life, and do what I want to do. During that time, I had got into some trouble and ended up going to prison. I met my pastor, who is the one that eventually introduced me into Bill Antonor. I was, getting close to God, I had rededicated my life to him. I was in a good situation, I was just blessed, very much by God. In the midst of, being blessed so much by God, I took things into my own head and kind of put God on the shelf, and that's, when my life began to spiral down again. That's when I got locked up, and I ended up doing the 4 years that I just came home for. And I didn't have nowhere to go once it was time for me to be released from prison. So by sharing that information with my pastor, she connected me with Bill Antonor. He came in, interviewed me, said that I would be able to, to come stay at, South Jersey Aftercare. But then I had, like I said, I had to get transferred to Pennsylvania and do 2 more years. So by that time, I wasn't really sure if this opportunity was still going to be open to me. So I had reached out to Bill, and Bill reached back out to me and said that the door was still open. Thank God, because that was, very, very stressful on me towards the end of my sentence and getting out, not knowing if I was going to have a stable environment to be at, a godly environment. But South Jersey Aftercare blessed me with that. God in this whole thing, obviously, he was the core, orchestrator of everything happening, bringing me back from, the pit, from my mistakes, from my transgressions. The Lord blessed me, it took a little while, but about 5 months, he had blessed me with a job that I'm now at. And I know that was only a blessing from God, and just knowing that I have that stability as far as a job is concerned, it has been a big weight off my shoulders, and it just helps me or allows me to continue to, to just walk with God, to the best of my ability, despite my faults, just knowing that God is a loving God and a merciful God.
Hi, my name is Neil Sapp. I was born in Passaic, New Jersey. I grew up in foster care most of my life. My mom was on drugs all my entire life. She was introduced to heroin, crack, and after that, her life just went downhill, and it was 5 of us. And I have not seen or heard of my brothers and sisters for years, so we have no type of relationship at all. And once I got old enough to do things on my own, I was reckless. I was living life like I had no sense at all. I didn't know God, I didn't know Jesus, and I found myself in jail for a crime that I committed. And I was in jail and I had to do 7 years there, but I wound up doing only 3.5 years on the charge in Southwest State Prison. While there, I found the Lord, or He rather found me. And I began to read the Word of God, and I began to grow in the things of God and grow in the Word of God. And I found myself in love with this man that I've never seen in my life. And while incarcerated, I lost my mom. She died. My sister died. And I thought that that would be a setback for me, but it turned out to be victory for me, because God prepared me for all of that. Where if I wasn't saved, or if I didn't get saved, I probably would still be reckless and a loose cannon. And I'm getting to a place where I have nowhere to go. I had no family. I'm in a strange land. I don't know too much about New Jersey, but now I'm getting ready to leave and I have nowhere to go. So I'm praying and I'm on my knees and I'm taking my requests to the Lord. Where I'm gonna go, I'm gonna be homeless. I don't know nobody. I don't know where I'm gonna go. I'm gonna be in a shelter. And one day, the preacher came up to me and said that for me not to worry, that he has a friend named Bill Antonor. He was going to give him a call on my behalf. A week later, he sees me. He asked me, did he come yet? I said, no, he didn't. He says, don't worry, he's coming. The next day, all of a sudden, I get a call for visit, and there is this man. Bill Antonio walks in, and we go in and we have an interview. He talks with me for a while, asked me did I fill out the application. I did. And next thing you know, here I am at South Jersey Aftercare, all by the grace and glory of God. But the point I want to stress is I was really afraid. I didn't think God would have been able to do this for me, being in the position and the situation that I was in. But even in the jail cell, I called out on the name of the Lord. He helped me and he heard me. And now I'm here, I'm blessed, I'm happy. And I just thank God for him. I thank him for Brenda, the ministry. They are truly people of God. If you've never seen real men and women of God, take a look at them. They are the real deal and they are God's servants.